Welcome to Front Seat, another edition of the programme coming to you from the Geneva International Motor Show 2019. Now we're here at the e-mobile section of the show. We spent a lot of time here last year talking about charging, e-charging and electric cars, but we've come back because they have a very different message this year, and that is that electric isn't just for electric cars. Oh no, it can be for other things too. For example, would you believe, an electric Harley-Davidson. Now I'm delighted to welcome Marc McAllister, who is VP of Product Portfolio for Harley-Davidson. And I guess a lot of people are as surprised as I am that you are here because you have two wheels and not four at all for the Geneva Motor Show, but more than that, that you're in the electric e-mobile part of the show. Tell us about LIVEWIRE.
Well, LIVEWIRE is the first electric motorcycle from Harley-Davidson, and it announces our intent to lead the electrification of motorcycling, and it is the first and the apex of our portfolio of electric motorcycles. Our intent is to, really drive the relevance of electric motorcycling across the world for the next generation of transportation and the next generation of riders.
So what's all this about? What's driving this? Is it that current Harley-Davidson drivers want to be green, they want to have electric mobility, or are you targeting new potential customers?
Well, it's both. We certainly expect our electric lineup to appeal to existing customers, but our mission is to drive the next generation of riders globally and to really change the message for motorcycling and how motorcycling shows up in transportation across the world. So we're hoping to reach a broader and a broader audience of motorcyclists because EVs are a lot more accessible.
You think petrol heads will want to drive this?
Some of them will, and some of them won't, and we continue to make our great classic world-leading motorcycles. But the electrification of motorcycling, this is about really broadening the appeal of Harley-Davidson.
Okay, and you think that the drivers of the LIVEWIRE will be leather jacket wearing?
We want our riders to show up how they feel. It's about your personal expression and how you want to ride. But certainly riding on a LIVEWIRE, you're going to need to wear something because that thing is thrilling and exciting and fast. Yeah.
Just as fast as a normal Harley-Davidson?
Much faster than the rest of our lineup. That motorcycle goes 0 to 60 or 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. So it's a phenomenally fast motorcycle and very accessible because it's twist and go.
Okay, and what are the other benefits to this idea?
So the benefits, well, first of all, there's the ecological benefits of the electrification of mobility. And certainly as motorcyclists, we love riding in the outdoors. Part of the appeal of motorcycling is to be in the outdoors, so protecting the sustainability of motorcycling is important. The other benefits are just, the bike is thrilling. It is the first connected Harley-Davidson as well, so it is connected to the 4G network and you can keep track of your motorcycle when you're not on it. It also allows you to do other connected activities, sharing your ride and engaging with other riders. And it leads our portfolio and gives us the space to go into some of the concepts you see here so that we can broaden motorcycling and the access. Why
do you feel the need to broaden your portfolio? Is it dwindling for the normal Harley-Davidson, the petrol?
So we've talked about this quite a bit as a company. Motorcycling and ridership, particularly in North America, is on the decline, but here in Europe, people aren't entering the sport as quickly as they were entering in the past. So we're looking for ways to bring motorcycling back to the forefront of transportation in people's minds and making it accessible enough that they're not intimidated by entering the sport or the motorcycling in general.
Now this has been in the making since 2014. It's been a long time coming. What have been the pitfalls or the challenges along the way?
Technology is a big part of it. The development of the LIVEWIRE, it took a village, if you will. It's because we had to bring new technology as well as continue to advance the core fundamental technology of the vehicle to keep up. And so this is the confluence of the right moment of battery technology, motor technology, connected technology, and a great motorcycle.
And also the customer base is out there now. Would you say, how mature is the electric motorcycle market?
Well, it's It's not as mature as the internal combustion engine market, but it is growing at a tremendous pace. And you're seeing people really bring it to the forefront of conversations, and we're leading that. We're trying to show up here. Part of your comment about us being at Geneva, it's to put us in a new light, in a new context, to change the conversation about Harley-Davidson.
What are people saying to you as they pass by you?
A lot of people are shocked that we're here, and a lot of people are saying, is that real? And it is real. This is the production state of a LiveWire. We're ready to go to production, and we'll be bringing it here to Europe in Q4. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
And what about the market in Switzerland in particular? Do you know much about that?
I have to admit I'm not an expert. It is a particularly green market, and it does serve us well to be here because of that. And e-mobile is a good connection for us because it helps change that connection to what is Harley-Davidson and why. And you know, we've been in conversations with other Swiss companies that this brings relevance to them and how the conversation about electric mobility works.
How do the markets differ? I mean, if you look at the European markets, which we of course are part of here in Switzerland, how does that compare to the Asian market and the American market for this?
So, great question. What we see is basically three different marketplaces. In America, it's not quite as mature as it is in Europe, but it's certainly growing and it's catching on very fast. Here in Europe, it is more mature, but it is very much maybe the higher end of mobility for the e-mobile market. And then in Asia, it's much more accessible electric motorcycles and electric vehicles, where it's more commoditized a little bit. So, you know, for us, when coming out with LiveWire, we're setting the top of the market, if you will, as being what people aspire to.
Just go back and tell me a bit more about the specs. I mean, you said how quickly it can go from 0 to whatever in so many seconds. Just remind us of that and tell us about the battery and how that works.
So I think the important part of any vehicle, whether it's electric or internal combustion, is does it satisfy my day? And I can tell you the LiveWire satisfies your day. It's got 223 kilometers of range in city usage. It's been designed and optimized for urban riding experience, so it's nimble, agile, light to maneuver. You can charge it you can get 80% charge on a DC fast charge in 40 minutes, which means that if you stop for lunch or you're in your office, you can quickly recharge and get back on the road. So it's a perfect tool for someone who's living in an urban environment here in Europe and is looking for a great get-around vehicle. You can avoid congestion, you can find parking easily.
How does the cost compare with a combustion engine Harley?
Well, we have a whole portfolio of vehicles, so I'm not sure how to answer that question. It fits broadly in the middle of our portfolio of products. Here in Europe, it's going to be in euro, it's going to be 33,900 euro. And we're starting to take pre-orders in April for customers here. And if you know our range of vehicles, it's sort of in the middle.
What about competitors? Do you have a competitor when it comes to an e-motorbike?
Well, there is no competition for Harley-Davidson.
You would say that?
Of course I do. Of course I would. There are other e-motorcycle manufacturers, of course, and we feel that we're bringing, first of all, a superior product, but also because we're Harley-Davidson and we have an extensive network of dealers and all the infrastructure to support a motorcyclist, as well as the clothing, the accessories, we're bringing a whole experience that nobody else is bringing to the market.
But how do you stay ahead of that competition? I mean, how much do you put into innovation, R&D?
Well, let me give you an example of how we stay ahead of that. We start early. We are really excited to announce today that Harley-Davidson has acquired the assets of STACYC, which is now a wholly owned subsidiary of Harley-Davidson, building these motorcycles for youngsters to start riding.
That's pretty small. How young? What are we talking? 2 years old, something like that?
Yeah, 2, 4, somewhere in there. This is the smallest product, and then there's another one just a little bit bigger.
Okay, you can put that down now because it's heavy. Is it heavy because there is a real battery in there?
Yeah,
and
there's a real battery and a real motor in there. This is about starting the conversation with families about motorcycling and how it can be a participative sport for the whole family.
This is quite like the Tesla idea, though, isn't it? I mean, they brought out the Tesla, and then they brought out the mini Tesla for the kids.
Yeah. It's not. We're not copying it. This is really about us being serious and demonstrating how serious we are about our portfolio of EV products. It would be very easy for us to bring out LiveWire and be in that position in the marketplace, but we want to demonstrate that not only are we bringing out the aspirational vehicle, but we're going to start at the bottom of the market too. And so this is about growing the generation of riders to come.
How important is it for you? I mean, you've talked a little bit about being here in Geneva already, but how important is it for you to bring the LiveWire and this new addition to Geneva this year?
Well, it's a great question. It's really important that we're here. This is a way for us as a brand to show up in a new way, in a new place where people don't expect us to be.
This is the first time you've been to Geneva because of the two-wheeled nature of your vehicle.
Exactly, yeah. So officially it's a four-wheel only show. So we're really excited to be here because it changes how we show up, and it's a bit of a coup for the show, of course. But we need to change how people see Harley-Davidson if we're going to grow this customer base and generate the next riders.
Family-friendly Harley-Davidson company.
Exactly, yeah.
And how does Geneva, when it comes to motor shows, compare globally with other motor shows?
Well, I mean, Geneva, this auto show is globally renowned. So it's a great platform for us to be because this will show up all across the globe and people will understand that Harley's showing up in a new way. The overall show is stunning and you can see all around us. It's a bit of a shock for me, to be honest, because this is my first time. So I'm still getting used to it, but yeah, it's fantastic.
Marc McAllister, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, thank you.